Welcome to this presentation of SOLIDWORKS Industrial Design, one of the latest products we've added to the SOLIDWORKS product portfolio. In the next 20 minutes, we hope to show you how SOLIDWORKS Industrial Design could add value to your overall product development process. Let's take a look at that development process now. In a very simplistic form, you start typically with some sort of 2D concept sketch phase. You then take those concept sketches and you create a 3D model. That could be done with some sort of surfacing tool. It could be done in a CAD parametric tool like SolidWorks. It could even be done on a prototype phase using clay or cardboard. Eventually, you finalize that concept and you bring it into a 3D CAD system to add the finer details. The problem with this process is it's very disjointed. The sketching phase, the 3D surface phase, as well as the 3D CAD design is typically done in three different systems that don't speak well together. If you look at it from a standpoint of workflow, you spend a lot of time in the sketching phase, you start over to do the 3D surfacing, and then you start over once again to bring that design to life and get into a manufacturing state. These starts and stops cause your development process to be longer than it needs to be. This is what we learned when we spoke to our customers about 2.5 to 3 years ago. Those customers told us that they use a lot of different tools to get to the final product design, and all these tools do not speak well together. That is when we came up with SOLIDWORKS Industrial Design. Before we begin, I want to talk to you about one of our customers, Spark Product Development. We went to them a little bit over a year ago and asked them if they wanted to be an early adopter of SOLIDWORKS Industrial Design. They told us about their current challenges. They wanted to reduce the time to market. They wanted to shorten their 2-week design development time on their concepts. And they wanted to improve overall communication between themselves and their customers. Let me set the stage for their overall presentation. Our goal is to create a new product that takes a normal piece of white bread and to simply toast it. In order to do that, we're going to go ahead and build a toaster. Now, with that being said, we have some inspiration on what this toaster might look like. Searching the web for ideas, we came up with a few different ones. We really kind of fell in love with this idea of a gas tank looking toaster from a motorcycle, from a chopper. So we created ourselves a little bit of a mood board. We want to go ahead and sort of use this as an idea or as a guide to build this new toaster. Let me introduce you to the team that's going to take this challenge on. My name is Mark Martell. I'm going to be the narrator for this. Jordan Tadic as the sketcher. Brad Williamson will play the role as the shaper. And Andrew Groh will come in and be the closer. Those three folks are going to take us through 4 main areas of this product development cycle. Jordan is going to do some concept sketching using SOLIDWORKS Industrial Design. Brad will then go ahead and use our powerful sub-D modeler to shape the toaster into what we hope to look like a gas tank. Brad will also go ahead and add some finer details. We'll then go ahead and share this with Andrew, who will take the gas tank shape from Brad and morph it into more of a traditional looking toaster, but maintain some of those edges and curves that Brad put in that gas tank design. So let's get started into the sketching. I'll now pass this over to Jordan.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. So today I'll be working on my Wacom Cintiq touch-enabled pen tablet. I can easily navigate and review a series of images I captured for inspiration. And to guide the scale of my design, I've imported an image of a piece of toast to sketch my concepts around. My first concept sketch mimicked the shape of a wheel. Creating a simple revolve feature and sketching directly on those surfaces made that an easy task. For my next idea, I'm going to sketch a toaster shaped just like a gas tank. Lightening the color of my pen as well as minimizing the thickness of my strokes will allow me to rough in a quick and dirty concept, pretty much just like a digital version of a napkin sketch. Sketching digitally is a very natural experience. Just like sketching on a piece of paper with a pencil, I can flip my stylus over and begin to erase any of my mistakes. In SOLIDWORKS Industrial Design, every sketch is a 3D sketch. So in an instant, I can go from sketching on the front plane to sketching on the top plane. Currently, my strokes are quick and jagged, and I haven't been too worried about the quality of my sketch so far. But now that I've roughed in the general shape, I can increase the size of my pen, darken the color, and confidently create a more refined sketch to communicate the overall shape of this design. One of the benefits of sketching digitally is that we can take advantage of CAD-like operations such as a smear command. Just a few more strokes on this top plane, and I can flip right back to the side view. Holding the Alt or Shift keys, SOLIDWORKS Industrial Design can assist my limited sketching skills by converting my strokes into perfect radius arcs or perfectly straight lines. For this basic shape, I think my side and top views will be enough to share with the rest of my design team to gather some initial feedback. That should just about do it, Mark.
That was very cool, Jordan. Thanks again. As you saw, Jordan was able to capture that sketch concept very quickly and easily by utilizing the technology inside SOLIDWORKS Industrial Design to just simply sketch naturally using a tablet with a pen the idea that he had about this new toaster. If you think about this in terms of multiple concepts, Jordan could have spent a few more minutes and sketched out a bunch of different more ideas that this toaster might look like. He could have put it all in one big sketch, like a big piece of paper, or he could have simply created a new sketch for every new concept, and then toggle on, toggle off the ones that he liked. Being able to capture multiple concepts in a single environment is extremely beneficial in the overall product design cycle. Well, now I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Brad, who's going to take and leverage Jordan's sketches and to create a solid model that represents it. Brad, take it away.
To begin forming the shape of the gas tank toaster body, I'll start with a simple box-shaped primitive. This acts like a virtual blob of clay that I can immediately begin stretching and shaping. Intuitively, just by selecting on any face, edge, or vertex, I can drag the on-screen handles to translate, scale, or rotate the different areas of the model. Even with just a few adjustments, the freeform shape is starting to match the contours of my hand sketches. I'd like the base of the tank to have a sharp edge, so I'll just drag a window across the bottom of the part and apply a crease. The creased edge is maintained even when I stretch out the length of the bottom edge. Switching over to a front view, I will scale in the sides to get a nice tapered look. Back to the side view, I can select a patchwork of multiple faces and create an offset in one easy step. This offset will form a blended recess into the tank body. Selecting a few of the edges around the offset, I can apply another crease. As I push those offset faces slightly into the tank, notice how the software automatically creates a nice fade between the creased and the smooth edges. I can further control the style lines on the recess as they taper toward the back of the tank. Rather than spend time adjusting each control point individually, the software can automatically align the points to a sketched curve or straight line. This will give a nice smooth line of flow and will make for a high-quality reflective surface, reminiscent of a custom shop paint job. Looking at the opposite side of the tank, it's clear that the work I've done so far is only on one side. That's no problem for the symmetry tool. Once I turn on symmetry, all the style details are immediately reflected about the reference plane. Along the top of the tank, I'd like to create a ridge that bulges out slightly from the leading profile of the tank. I'll begin by adding a loop, which will give me some extra edges and control points to play with. I'll crease 3 of the new edges, Then use the drag handles to scale them outward just slightly. Notice how the sharp and the smooth edges blend together without any extra effort. Back in the side view, I'll spend a little more time shaping out the recess. By making a few adjustments to the various edges, I can quickly conform the shape of the recess to match the profile of the tank. With a little more fine-tuning on the top edge of the tank, I can get a more gradual taper. I will also select half of the tank body and elongate it slightly. This gives the whole form a sleeker appearance. This is looking good. The hand sketches served as a good guide for the basic shaping operations, but for clarity, I'll turn them off and take a quick look around the model. The top view still needs a little tweaking. With a quick nudge on this outer side vertex, I can eliminate that sharp taper. In just a short amount of time, with a minimal number of commands, I formed a simple primitive shape into a great-looking motorcycle tank-inspired toaster.
Wow, thanks, Brad. That is so cool. It's almost like you're just taking a blob of clay and shaping it to what you want, just pushing and pulling on it. Again, the whole idea behind this is to swiftly sculpt organic 3D forms. And the key word there is swiftly. Think about how many concepts you can create in 3D form using this sub-D modeling. Pushing and pulling, using symmetry, creasing edges, all those powerful selection tools can really benefit a user to create multiple concepts very quickly in order to share with your customer or your colleagues within your company to make a final decision on your product. The next step is to sharpen this solid model into what might look like the end resulting toaster. So adding those parametric features. We're going to go back to Brad and see what he can do with that.
I've got a good start on the overall form of the toaster, but before I add any more detail, I want to mark my progress by creating a concept point. This enables me to log major design milestones that I can return to at any time. While I'm at it, I'll also create a branch point, since this is a good spot where Andy might want to take the design in a different direction without disrupting the original concept. Now I'll get started adding some detail elements. First, I'll sketch out the rough profile of the bread slots. I have a pretty good idea of the overall dimensions to various sizes of bread, bagels, and muffins, so I'll enter those as parametric dimensions. I'll round off the sharp corners with a sketch fillet. I don't know the exact placement of the slot yet, so I'll just drag the approximate location. With a click and drag on the sketch profile, I can extrude a through-all cut, offset from the base of the toaster. With SOLIDWORKS Industrial Designer, I can design with freeform and more traditional parametric geometry at the same time. There are no special modes, modules, or fancy file types required. All the parametric controls I would expect are right at my fingertips. Now I'll just mirror the slot to the other side. In the front view, everything looks good. Enabling transparency here, I can see through to a photo of a piece of bread. That lets me know the slot is properly located. However, in the top view, I can see the whole shape needs to get wider so the slots don't cut through that nice styled ridge along the top of the tank. It's easy just to widen the toaster body by dragging the handles, and immediately I see the slots will fit much better now. Moving on to a side view, I'd like the darkness knob to mimic the form of a gas cap. Sometimes I prefer to sketch out a quick idea before making a 3D feature. SOLIDWORKS Industrial Designer provides the ability to freehand sketch directly on the 3D model. You can see how the sketch naturally conforms to the 3D surfaces of the toaster. Swiping over that sketch converts it to a parametric spline, and with a simple touch and drag, I can extrude the shape to the desired thickness. Now I'll just round off the sharp edge with a fillet feature. Easy.
Wow, thanks, Brad. That's amazing. Every time I see that capability of just taking your sketch, and if you think about it, using the pen and the tablet, and just sketching right on the solid model, it really, really impresses me. Think about the power that you can do with that capability. Sketching right on the solid model, not to maybe turn it into a feature like Brad did with the button, but just to sketch on the solid model during a project review meeting and say, hey, maybe we take some material off over here, or if we added the control panel in this area. Really amazing benefits to being able to sketch right on the solid model, as well as taking parametric features that we all know within a 3D CAD system, like cuts and chamfers and fillets and draft and shell, and applying that to our sub D solid body that he created in the initial step. Really amazing. The next step is to share with Andrew, and Andrew's going to take a different look at it and be like, I like the gas tank looking toaster, but maybe we might want to go more with the traditional route. Let's see what Andrew does.
Thanks, Mark. Now that Brad's finished the gas tank design, I may want to branch off in a different direction to present a few alternative concepts to the client. The new branch opens up a new copy of the existing model that I can make changes to without worrying about disrupting the original design. I'll quickly change the color here so it's easy to distinguish between the two concepts. Just like Brad found in the original design, I'll need to make the basic shape a little wider. I'll quickly edit the freeform shape to account for the wider bread slots. So as I'm thinking about this new design, in addition to a gas tank inspired form, I'd like to present the client with a more traditional looking toaster as well. I like the shape of the leading profile of the gas tank toaster, and I think a mirrored version of that might be pretty interesting. The symmetry tool makes this easy. There's a bit more styling I may want to do later, but for now I'm happy with this basic form. So I'll take a moment to go ahead and save this version. Brad had added bread slots and the control knob to the gas tank inspired design, and I'd like to be able to borrow those features and see what they look like on my conventional toaster body without having to recreate them. The merge feature makes this really easy. The software shows both models side by side and lists the features that are either common or unique to each model. I can then choose the features to merge from one part to the other and even get a dynamic preview before committing to any changes. It makes it really easy to share features between models and quickly advance the detail aspects of various design branches. With very little effort on my part, we now have two different concept alternatives to present back to the client.
Wow, thanks, Andrew. I'm going to keep it on the screen for one more second just to show the differences between the one on the left and the one on the right. I mean, just being able to take that gas tank looking toaster, quickly making a branch on that, branching it, making this purple one on the left-hand side. It looks more like a traditional toaster, but still maintains that coolness of the gas tank. But then leveraging the features that Brad had added to the toaster on the right with the slots and the button and maybe some fillets and chamfers, and just simply saying, hey, let me grab that great stuff and merge it with my whole complete new design. It's extremely powerful. I also want to highlight some of the new functionality that we have in SOLIDWORKS Industrial Design. You've seen symmetry being utilized both by Brad and Andrew. You saw the fast selection tools being used by both of those guys as well. And you saw the branch, the merge. Some amazing new technology that we're adding to SOLIDWORKS Industrial Design. The value behind what you just saw was being able to collectively advance the best concepts. You might have 2, 3, 4, 5 concepts that you quickly go ahead and design using this process that we just showed you. As we summarize now what we just saw, we started with Jordan doing some sketching, being able to capture multiple concepts in a single environment, the same environment that we're going to be using to create the solid model. You saw Brad take advantage of some amazing sub-D modeling technology to swiftly sculpt that organic 3D form. Brad then went ahead and added some more details. He refined an evolving design by adding the cuts, the fillets, the chamfers, using amazing features like sketching right on the solid model. We then shared the overall design with Andrew. He took it down a whole different path using some of our new branching and merging capabilities in order to collectively advance the best concept. If we now go back and review what happened to our friends at Spark Product Development and the 3 challenges that they posed to us before they started getting into SOLIDWORKS Industrial Design, here's what the final results were. They were able to reduce their time to market by 10 to 20%. They took that 2-week design development time down to 2 days, and that again is because of the speed at which you can create these shapes and these sketches all in the same environment. And they were able to improve communication. At the end of the day, Bruce, the managing partner of Spark, came to us and said, SOLIDWORKS Industrial Designer allows us to create multiple prototypes every week, rather than creating one every 4 weeks. That right there is really the value behind SOLIDWORKS Industrial Design. I hope you found this presentation valuable. If you'd like to see similar benefits to Spark product development, or if you'd just like to learn more about SOLIDWORKS Industrial Design, please reach out to your local reseller and ask them for more information.